Brad, if you could recall 2013, the Chicago final, when Patrice is going through just massive car crash injuries, just how bad was it for him? And then to have him play through that, what was that like for teammates to see?
Um, it was as a teammate watching a guy put himself through the pain and discomfort he was clearly going through. It was pretty. It was very impressive. He has all the attributes of a phenomenal leader on and off the ice. He's been meant to be a captain, 10 years ago. So it's been a long time coming, but it was almost scary being beside him on the bench, watching what he was going through. You didn't know if he was. You could tell he was in complete pain, and you didn't even know if he was going to make it to the game. So, it just shows what he's willing to sacrifice and willing to put his body through to win. And you feed off that stuff. That's contagious, and that's why he's one of the best players to play the game.
Just a reminder to media, if you want to get in the queue to ask Brad a question, please hit the raise hand button. We'll go next to Steve Conroy. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Brad. I think it's almost 10 years to the month that you were put on Patrice's line in the 2010-2011 season. Through these 10 years, has there been a moment? I know there are plenty of them, but is there anything that stands out in your mind that Patrice may have done or said that helped you get over a hump or a difficult point in your career to get you to where you are now?
There's so many things, that he's helped me with and helped me with along the way. I don't think I can particularly point one out, but just, it was more consistently seeing every single day how he carries himself as a person, as a professional, how he tries to get better. That was more what really made a huge difference in I think my career, watching him, just being beside him every day, listening to how the standards that he holds for himself, training with him, seeing what he pushes himself to, how he, you get to that point where everybody's like, all right, we did enough today, and he just blows right through that and, puts himself through even more pain just to continue to get better and better, and the competitive edge that he has every day. So watching that every day, I think it's a mindset that takes years to build and years to learn. And, I've been fortunate enough to be beside him for that long that, it's worn off on me. And, I try to be like him every day, even still, just a mindset of being positive and accepting everything that we're going through and just rolling with it and not getting down or complaining about it. Little things like that just change your mindset to be more positive person and leader and player. And there's still tons to learn from him.
Yeah. And just a quick follow-up, just on you today, you're off the ice. Was that precautionary?
Yeah, just we're going to scrimmage again tomorrow, I believe. So I didn't want to. I just started skating with the guys on Monday, and only half a practice, and then full one yesterday. So it was more just to not do too much too early. The last thing I want to do is take a step back, and when I'm right there to be in good to go. So it wasn't necessary to play 2 scrimmages in 2 days. So that was more of what it was, just to hang out and relax and recover and make sure that we continue to trend up and not take a step back.
Great. Thank you.
We'll go next to Matt Porter.
Hey, Brad. You were in junior when this happened, but you had been drafted, and I know obviously you were paying attention to the Bruins, but when Patrice had his concussion issues, when he was, hit and he had to go through all that, he did something that kind of sticks out to me. He spoke about it. He spoke about what he was going through, and we really hadn't seen too many athletes, and certainly not too many hockey players, talk about concussions. And there were several other things that made people take concussions more seriously, but I think in some way that was one of them. Just being that open about head injuries, and I'm wondering if that made an impression on you.
Well, he had. He went through one of the toughest, I think, concussion at the time. He was out for a long long period of time. You know, at the point, I'm sure a lot of people were curious how he was going to come back, if he was ever going to be the same player again, or, I mean, I'm sure he was nervous about that, even if he was going to be the same person again. So, you know, it's scary when you go through something like that. And, you know, it's great that he did have the self-confidence to open up about it and talk about it, because a lot of people keep that in, and you know, I'm sure that's a downward spiral. So, you know, I think that just again speaks to his character, that, you know, he's comfortable in sharing the experiences he goes through with everyone, even if it helps one person. I mean, that's what he's doing it for, and that's what he always does. He wants to help everyone around and continue to allow people to grow from his experiences and what he's learned, and he just wants to help everyone. So, I mean, he's a great guy overall.
We'll go next to Jimmy Murphy.
Hey, Brad, how you doing?
Good about yourself?
Good, hanging in. Nice shirt, by the way. I like it.
Yeah, thanks.
You know, I think back to kind of when you came, you know, they were just talking about when you came in the league, young, you're kind of learning the ropes there. And, you know, you like to have fun like I did when I was young. And obviously you've matured through the years and become a leader yourself. How did Patrice in those early years help shape who you are now?
Yeah, he helped a ton. You know, as a younger guy, you come in the league and, you know, you have all kinds of opportunities, especially in Boston. I mean, it's a fun city to grow up in and to be out in. Great sports town, especially while teams are doing well. And, you know, you got to enjoy it. But I think the biggest thing for him was he shows you how to be a professional. And sorry, guys.
That's all right.
My daughter's trying to be Spider-Man. There you go. Sorry, want to start that again?
Yeah, sure. Just talking about
All
you
right.
maturing. I guess that's a perfect example right there. You look
Yeah.
probably to become, you know?
Yeah, playing dress up. But yeah, so I think the biggest thing for him early on that he helped me with was teaching me how to be a professional. You know, once you get to the rink and how you carry yourself off the ice. I think that's one thing with Bergie is when you look at him, he's such a professional on and off the ice, where he carries himself, the way he treats people. Obviously, we all get into situations where we're not comfortable, or, you know, we just don't want to be there. You know, we just have to be sometimes. And, you know, when you see him, even in uncomfortable situations, he carries himself, you know, so properly. And I think that's one thing that you learn as a young guy is that, you know, you have to go through certain uncomfortable situations, and then you have to carry yourself like a professional all the time, on and off the ice. And, you know, he's such a great example of that. I think I try to learn why, you know, it's so easy to see when you're around him all the time. And, you know, from just how he trains and eats and, you know, relates to other people and everything. So I thought that was big, because it not only translates to hockey, but so many other areas in life and you know, about how to be a good person and everything. So, you know, he was really big with that.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
We'll take our last question from Kevin DuPont.
Hey, Brad, good to see you again.
You as well.
I could be wrong in this premise, and so correct me if I am, but I've always had the feeling that how a room feels, how guys feel in the room is based a whole lot on the current record, you know, last night's win or last night's loss. But, you know, a captain obviously has a responsibility or a role in how a room feels. So, and I don't want to turn this into how will Bergie make it versus how Z made it, but those have been your only two captains. But, you know, maybe you can expand that to junior or other times. Just how does the captain influence just how a room feels?
Yeah, you know what? I think there's a lot of guys that can influence how a room feels. You don't want to leave that solely based to a captain, but I think where a captain plays a huge role is in situations where it's too far one way or another, where you're too excited about a win where maybe you should have lost, or, you know, you're too down about a game and, you know, that you lost or even that you won. You know, that's why I think where the captain realized the situation, like, hey, you want to kind of stay even keel all the time, regardless if you win or lose. You don't want to get too high or low. And when you start to dip or you start to peak too much, you know, they kind of bring it back in check. And I think that's where you see a lot of good captains. They kind of keep everybody in check, because when you get a sense of false confidence, or you're just getting down on yourself too much, it can be dangerous and it can snowball out of control. So, you know, guys like him and Z, and you know, guys like Rex and Fair and Kels and guys like that have a lot of really good leadership qualities. They're able to bring that back in check, and you know, Bergie definitely has that ability.
Thank you.
Thank you.